What's going on, TW fans? Thomas here, bringing you this week's episode of What's New at Tackle Warehouse. We just wrapped up Easter. Hopefully your kids got out and got to hunt some eggs. I know for us, and hopefully for you guys as well, we're going out and we're hunting for trophy bass and maybe a tournament check or two. You know, the springtime is here, fishing is great, so we hope you're getting out on the water. Fortunately, some of our favorite brands are hooking us up with some cool new stuff that's gonna help us do just that. So we're gonna dive right in with a new rod. This is from Proficiency. This is the David Dudley Pro Series of rods. We have both spinning and casting. As you can see here, I have the casting model in my hand. And Dudley designed these with a few key goals in mind, and I think that that's super important. So first, he wanted to bring a quality, high quality, great craftsmanship, premium component rod to the market, and he wanted it to be super versatile, something you could do a maximum amount of techniques with a minimum amount of rods. And then lastly, he wanted to make this thing affordable. Well, I really think he hit it out of the market, both him and Proficiency on this one. We got an awesome rod at a great price point. So let's go over a few of the key components here. First up, we got this premium guide train of guides up front. I like these for a couple of reasons. Mainly the size on this. So they're small enough that they're gonna keep your casts quiet. They're gonna keep your casts accurate. You're not gonna get a lot of line vibration, but they're big enough to accommodate line-to-line knots, which is key. I like to use a leader knot when I'm going from braid to fluorocarbon, something like that. So those guides accommodate that very well with that sizing on them. As you move down here, down this blank, which is a 30-ton carbon blank, giving you great sensitivity and maximum strength. So if you're setting a hook on a big fish, you can do so in confidence. It's not going to break or fail on you. Going to manage those surging bass well. But as you transfer down here, you're going to see this cool True Timber Rift camo pattern. So that's pretty nice. Gives you, kind of a more modern, stylish approach to a rod. So you're going to get good looks along with great performance. Going down, we have an EVA foam foregrip, transfers on down to a ergonomic Fuji reel seat, and then a couple of premium cork grips on the back. So great, lightweight, sensitive, do-all rod, and best part is it comes in at $100. I mean, designed by David Dudley, that guy has a pretty wild career, 4-time FLW Tour Angler of the Year, so you know it's gonna be a good product. These things have been tested at the highest level of competition our sport has to offer. So check them out. All right, now let's look at some stuff that we can fish with that rod. First up from Nichols. This one is the Nichols Buddy Gross Craft Jig. As the name implies, this was designed with elite angler Buddy Gross, and it's got some cool features to it as well, so we're gonna kind of go through those right now. This one's designed to be fished with low stretch fluorocarbon lines in deeper water. So for a few key reasons here, they made this weed guard super soft. So if you have a lot of line in the water, you're not gonna feel all those bites when you're deep water, stuff like that, so it's key to get a good hook in those fish, and this light weed guard is going to maximize your hookup ratio. So it still is going to shed all that vegetation, unwanted grass, but it just bends super easy so you can get a hook in that fish faster. All right, looking at the head here, nice detailed, durable paint job on it. It's not going to chip, it's not going to flake as you're bumping along rocks, boulders, anything like that. Got a bigger line tie on there. Again, this one is geared for those fluorocarbon lines, so if you're using a heavier fluorocarbon line, kind of a thicker diameter, that beefier line tie is going to accommodate those lines. 3D recessed eyes on this one, and then that fine silicone skirt. That's pretty important, especially for some of those deeper, colder applications. That skirt's still going to kind of flow and undulate and move with you as you drag and hop this thing along. Under that skirt is going to be a wire keeper system, so you're going to be able to thread your favorite trailer on securely. You don't need any messy glues. It's going to stay on there. You're going to just kind of increase the longevity of that trailer, get more bites without it getting torn up. The hook itself, super sharp. It's going to get that quick penetration. Again, this one's all about that hookup ratio. So it's got the perfect gauge hook on there, and then that perfect softness in the weed guard, all about maximizing that hookup ratio. All right, let's take a look at a soft plastic from Nichols. This is the Nichols Tapeworm Hybrid Worm. So pretty cool hybrid on this one. You got kind of the straight tail finesse style stick bait up front, and then you have this long ribbon in the back. As you notice, there's no curls or anything, so it's gonna get a kind of a nice waving motion as you're working this one along, rather than kind of that spiral turbine action that you'd get if it was a curly tail. So a little bit unique, something that your bass haven't seen. I think my favorite part about this one is, yeah, it's a 10-inch worm, which kind of sounds intimidating, but as you can see in my hand, the profile itself is pretty small. So it's not gonna be intimidating to fish. You're absolutely gonna get some of those kicker tanker fish on there, but some of those smaller 2-pound, 3-pound, even 1-pound bass, they aren't gonna shy away from hitting this 10-inch worm. So especially if you're just starting to get into some of those bigger plastics, this is a way that you can get into it without an intimidating size. So great for Carolina rig, Texas rig, maybe a shaky head, something like that. Just great, unique action, something that the bass haven't seen before. All right, let's switch over, take a look at some bladed options. First one is going to be from Humdinger. This is the Humdinger silicone skirted spinnerbait. Now Humdinger's been in the spinnerbait game for nearly 40 years now. So you know they got a lot of expertise to bring to the table. And you're gonna get that same quality componentry on this one that you have on all the other spinnerbaits. So you have their Humdinger blades on there that are gonna flutter and spin on that really smooth rotating barrel swivel. So even on the fall, you know, whether you're burning it back, you're just crawling it back along the bottom, they're gonna be spinning and rotating smoothly. Got that soft wire on these, gonna kind of enhance the vibration that those blades are throwing off, and it transitions down into a painted head. Again, durable paint job, not gonna chip or flake on you. Where it differs from some of their other spinnerbaits, maybe you're more accustomed to that, you know, thick Humdinger rubber skirting material. This now has that fine silicone skirting. So just a different look, something so you can expand your portfolio on your spinnerbait game. So definitely one you're gonna wanna add as this fishing heats up. That spinnerbait is gonna be key. All right. Another bladed option, this time a vibrating jig. This is from Picasso, the Picasso Aaron Martin's Shock Blade Heavy Cover Pro Series. So a couple awesome features on this one. First and foremost, designed by Aaron Martin's. That guy, just really a lot of attention to detail. Just a good angler, you know you're getting a good product, meticulously designed. Everything that he puts out tends to be really, really high quality. No difference here. Starts with the speed blade up front, which does a few things. Gives it that unique thump vibrating action so that fish can feel the presence of this bait in the water, not just visually see it. But it also, each time it rotates over, it hits the head. So it gives it kind of a clacking sound. So you're actually getting an acoustic layer with your vibrating jig as well, rather than just that thump from the blade itself. Under the blade, you have a keeled head design. That's gonna be great for ripping through grass, deflecting, bouncing off cover. That's kind of where a lot of the strikes come from as well. So this thing is just really, really weedless. Speaking of weedless, you have 4 titanium wires on the back of this thing just to help shed even more vegetation. So if you are really throwing this one right into grass, you're gonna be able to rip it through and it's not gonna get, you know, constantly hung up. You're not gonna lose it. Got a fine silicone skirt again, so you're gonna get that undulating, flowing profile as it's working through the water. Under that skirt, we have a dual keeper system here. So you actually have a molded barb kind of towards the base here, hidden by that skirt a little bit, and then a wire keeper right behind that. So if you're throwing on your favorite, you know, stick bait trailer, whatever trailer you want on this one, it's gonna be on there secure. You're not gonna need the toothpick chip, no glues, anything like that. It's gonna stay on there and it's gonna increase, again, the longevity of that. You're gonna get more bites. It's gonna last longer. Have a custom designed Japanese O'Shaughnessy style hook. So it's gonna keep those fish pinned and you're just gonna get reliable hook sets out of this thing. So a cool vibrating jig to add to your collection there. And one up from Hyperlastics. This is the Hyperlastics Dart Spin Jig. So as you can clearly see, a very finesse option. This one was designed with Patrick Sebille. He's a renowned angler that's traveled the world catching hundreds of species of fish, so you can trust his expertise when he designed this one. And this is a multi-species bait. You can throw this one in saltwater, you can throw this one in freshwater. It's gonna catch them big, it's gonna catch them small. So just a do-all finesse bait. The plastic itself is molded around a weighted jig head, so you'll get a little bit more weight, a little bit more casting distance out of it, but you are gonna need to use finesse gear on it, of course. So a nice detailed paint job on that plastic, and the plastic itself, it's made with Hyperlastics soft, tough plastic. So as the name implies, it's soft enough to get some good action out of it, but it's tough enough to stand up to a bunch of aggressive fish. Actually, in one testing phase, an angler caught over 140 largemouth bass on one plastic bait. Pretty impressive, speaks for itself. So again, detailed paint schemes, 3D molded gill rakers, 3D eyes on there. And then once we get to the back, we have this little willow blade, adding a little bit of flash, a little bit of that swimming motion on there. And it's attached with this barrel swimmer that's actually harnessed to the hook itself. So if you're having something short strike it, an aggressive fish just bites the willow blade itself, or it gets hung up by that willow blade somehow, it's not gonna snap off or pop out on you. You're not gonna be constantly replacing that willow blade. It's actually anchored directly to the hook. So a cool little finesse bait that you definitely wanna check out. All right, last up for the baits, we got a whole new series from Molex. It's the Molex Flex series of baits. So I'll kind of talk about this series right now and then we'll go into each individual product. So the Flex series of baits, it's their new proprietary plastic. Ultra soft, ultra flexible, as the name implies, and ultra durable. So it's gonna stand up to a lot of fish, a lot of aggressive fish, aggressive bites, strikes. It's gonna keep going for you. It's not gonna quit. And also, importantly, it's really, really buoyant. So if you're doing like a Ned rig technique or anything like that, it's gonna sit vertical. Fishing to craw, it's gonna be in that defensive posture. If you're fishing any other baits, it's gonna put it in the correct posture for you. You can kind of think of it as that Z-Man Elastec plastic. It's very similar. And as such, you do need to be careful with storage. You can't store it with other plastics. All right, let's jump into the individual ones now. First up, we're gonna start with their Stick Flex. So the Molex Stick Flex. On this one, you're gonna see it's a great Ned profile, you know, that finesse worm profile. So you don't have to use it on a Ned, maybe a finesse shaky head, drop shot, but that Ned is gonna really, really it's going to shine there due to that buoyant nature I talked about earlier, because it's going to keep in that kind of foraging posture for this worm as you drag it and hop it and crawl it along rocks and boulders. Got a little bit of ribbing on here that's going to grab some water, just disturb it more, get the fish to feel its presence again, you know, not just a visual key on it. And super soft, super stretchy, super durable. So great for your Ned fishing technique. Next up, we have the Craw Flex. So as the name implies on this one, a craw. So same thing, you can use this on a Ned, maybe a little shaky head, your favorite little jig. It's just gonna enhance any presentation you put it on there. Nice, flexible. We got these anatomically correct claws, antennae, and even 3D molded eyes. So a lot of attention to detail on this one. And like I said, you know, they're super durable, so they're gonna last you all day, even if you're against, I don't know, some aggressive spotted bass. Those things are notorious for tearing up plastics. These are gonna last a little bit longer, save you a little bit of money. Last up, we have the Freaky Flex. So this is just kind of a creature bait style. You got a couple balls up front here that are gonna dance and undulate in the water as you drag this one along, and then a couple flappers and some craws up front. So a lot of detail on this one, ribbing on the back to catch that water and a hook channel to keep it a little bit more weedless, but as with all of them, stretchy yet durable. All right, so we looked at some cool stuff to fish with. Let's see how we're gonna get it to the water. First up from Bass Mafia, we have their Bud Bag. Now there's two sizes of this one. This is the standard Bud Bag, and then they also have a 2 Bud Bag, which is a little bit smaller and it has a little bit more limited storage capacities. So what this one is actually designed to store is gonna be for all your favorite spinner baits and, you know, vibrating jigs, things like that. So it has 5 different storage pages that's made out of their same like money bag material, legendary for its durability and strength. So it's not gonna tear or fail on you. And then it has that money bag seal on there, so a heavy duty seal. It's gonna help keep any of the water out, moisture out. If you do get moisture in here somehow, stainless steel hardware, so it's gonna not rust or anything like that. 5 pages, 5 slots on each page. You could actually fit maybe a couple vibrating jigs on here, so the storage capacity is quite large. You can even throw some bags of trailers in here. Durable material, and it's actually waterproof itself. So like I said, it's gonna keep most of that moisture out, and then you have that nice seal on there to really seal it out. I mean, jackhammers aren't cheap. If you want a good way to protect your investments, the money bag series, or excuse me, the Bud Bag series is the way to go. All right, another storage option, this one from a whole new company, Buzbe. We have the Buzbe Colony series of storage. Really unique, I'm really excited about this one. So we'll take a look at a few of the components. So it's actually made with military grade plastic, 3/16 stainless hinge and latches up front. So this thing can take a beating and keep going. So if you're a rugged angler, you know, beating the banks or just rough boat rides, these things are not gonna fail on you. Now here's where it gets really cool. The interior is completely customizable. So all of these things can pop out due to their hex lock grid system. And you just slide them back in, push them down, and they will stay in there securely. Now I like these for a couple of reasons. I'm gonna pull this one out and we can kind of talk about it. So these compartment bins, they're just that, they're bins. So I know for me, the way I store my terminal tackle, some of the more finesse swivels, drop shot hooks, even some of my worm hooks and EWG hooks, they all kind of seem to slide either under the partitions or over the partitions. Well, with this bin system, they aren't going anywhere. There's nothing that they can slide under. And then on the lids themselves, they actually have cutaways on here so to seal them, so they're not gonna actually hop over. So it's a really, really secure way to store whatever you need. It doesn't have to be terminal tackle. It can be a variety of things, baits, plugs. Obviously it comes in a bunch of different sizes and configurations, so you can really make it individual. And if you're looking for the ultimate in individualization, they sell them empty. So you can actually just get this blank canvas for you here to paint your storage masterpiece in. Got that hex lock grid system, and then we sell the customizable bins. So you can set it up any size, big, small, square ones. You can make the storage the way you want to make it. And it's also nice, they have this little cutaway on the top that matches up with the cutaway on the bottom. So if you're stacking these in your boat compartment, if you're storing them in your garage, they're gonna stack on each other securely. All right, that's gonna wrap up for all these products here. Springtime is here, tournament time is here. So if you're getting those big orders in, any order over $150 comes free with a Tackle Warehouse promo t-shirt. This is the new one, a nice colorway that you see on here. So definitely wanna make sure to add this one to your cart. Again, free on any order of over $150. Head on over to tacklewarehouse.com. We also have promotional hats and long sleeve t-shirts to really expand those options. All right, that's gonna wrap up this week's episode of What's New at Tackle Warehouse. As always, guys, thank you for tuning in. To learn more about these products or to shop from, go ahead and click the link in the description or click shop. If you enjoyed this video, hit that like button if you wanna see more like it. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel. We'll see you all next week.